Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing? We're back. Another episode of Stats Over Politics. As always, I'm Shaun alongside my guy, Kevin Dent. Jaevon Toddy should be joining us soon. Should be, we think. And also, our guy, Garry, he will not be joining us this week. He is working tonight. And so, it's going to be me and Kevin. And maybe Toddy's going to join us in a bit. And Kevin, you know, the thing about Shaun's pop quiz is that it's a pop quiz and it just pops up at random times, right? And so my agenda for today, I had it planned to start things out. And Toddy being a little tardy today, that's unfortunate for him because I guess Kevin is going to just get more lonely at the top because, guys, it's time for Shaun's pop quiz. Kevin, NBA free agency is going on, and so today's pop quiz is going to be about 2013 from 10 years ago.
Oh,
so
Toddy's on the way.
Okay, Toddy's on the way. Toddy, I hope you join soon. I'll give Kevin his question first. Hopefully, Toddy is able to get here for his question. So, Kevin, let me just put your question into the prompter so all of our listeners can also see it on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. So here is the first question. This All-Star left the team he eventually would win a championship with. So this is Shaun's Pop Quiz 2013 NBA Free Agency Edition. And Kevin's question is that this All-Star left the team he eventually would win a championship with. The wording of the question makes it seem a little tough, but once you think of the answer, you'll kick yourself because if you think back to 2013 NBA free agency, this guy, oh my God, there was just a vicious dunk from Keegan Murray in the California Classic right now. Or that might have been last year. I'm not sure. But anyways, Kevin, do you have a guess?
Okay, so you blew up my first guess.
Tell the people what's going through your mind.
2013, so the year's kind of throwing me off, but leaving his team and eventually winning the championship really rung a name instantly in my head, and I was like, Shaun's not going to make it that easy, and I had to think of the years to go with the GOAT. Well, that's incorrect. So my guess, I couldn't even give you one. I think my educated guess is Andre Iguodala.
That is incorrect, unfortunately. So this is normally where we might bounce the question off of Garry, who's working tonight, or Toddy, who will be here soon. But unfortunately, Kevin, no one can steal your question. I already know the answer, so there's no fun in that. Do you have a second guess, Kevin?
Is he still relevant to this day?
Yeah, he was in the news like a couple weeks ago. And the last thing that I'll say about it is he's not currently on an NBA team. So I'll read the question.
Howard.
Ding, ding, ding. There you go.
There we go.
And so Dwight Howard left the Los Angeles Lakers for the Houston Rockets. Dwight Howard was the free agent in 2013, and he ultimately decided to go to Houston. It was funny because, Kevin, you remember back to when they had the big old 12 of the jersey on the back of the building saying, like, please, Dwight, stay in L.A. And then it's ironic how it all ended up circling back to the bubble and how he won a championship with the Lakers, which is crazy to think.
He's in Taiwan.
I know, right? That's the funny thing. I just want to get to a couple of our YouTube comments. And if you're watching on YouTube and you're enjoying the pod, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We really appreciate it because it helps us continue to grow. Dre's tapping in, says, Kev on the bus.
My guy, my man. I appreciate you stuff watching.
Sister Alex says, what position? It's a center. That would have gave it away. And Keelan got it. Dwight? Yep, you got it, Keelan. We appreciate you for tuning in. So, Kevin, that's the thing about live streams is we can't really stall. We say we go live every Monday at 7 p.m. And so I don't want to stall for our audio listeners anymore. And now
you snooze, you lose.
You snooze, you lose. And, I thought about moving the segment to the end, but I'm like, nah. I made a plan, and I'm following through on it. And so just to update the scoreboard right now, Kevin has 22, Toddy has 17, and our guy Garry has 13. And as Garry would say, this is a DNP for him. And he has to work, so it's a DNP for Garry. So, Kevin, the next question is as follows. This All-Star joined the team he eventually would win 4 championships with. So this is 2013 NBA Free Agency Edition. And the question for Kevin, which was originally for Toddy, says, this All-Star joined the team he eventually would win 4 championships with. Do you have a guess, Kevin? So I'm going to read the question one more time. This All-Star joined the team.
Your mic cut out.
That's the lovely thing about what my mic has been doing today, Kevin. As I was telling you, my mic has been giving me issues where I didn't touch the cord at all, but it said that it disconnected. I think I'm back. Does my audio sound okay?
Well, good.
Okay. All right. So do you have a guess now before my mic cuts out again?
I do not, but my sister is getting mad at me in the comments.
Sister Alex says, come on, Kevin. All right, Kevin. You said you don't have a guess, but you're the only participant this week. And I know you're lonely at the top, but you could get more lonely with 2 more correct answers. Just throw out a guess, and if you don't get it, then I'll tell you who.
And he's still relevant to this day? Like he would. Hold on, no, let me ask I wanted to change my question. Was he an impact on those 4 championships?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sure was.
I'm gonna be so mad when I don't get this right.
Yeah, you really are. Like, you're gonna be furious. Like, so angry.
I'll
read the question one more time. This All-Star joined the team he eventually would win 4 championships with. We already answered that he was an impact player on those 4 championship teams. Kevin has no idea.
Oh, Kevin Durant.
Even Dre says, bro. Is your final answer? Is your final answer Kevin Durant?
No, he only won 3, but that could be my guess because I don't know. Damn.
So your guess is Kevin Durant?
Even though it's wrong, yes.
Okay, well, it is wrong, and I'm just going to tell you, you said this man's name earlier. It's Andre Iguodala, Max Kellerman's favorite player. You had it spot on earlier. When you said Andre Iguodala for the first question, I was like, okay, Kevin knew that Andre Iguodala was involved in 2013 free agency.
Damn.
Impact player on 4 championships, but unfortunately, Kevin.
That sucks.
But, the good thing about it is that was Toddy's question, and you already nailed your question. And so you're still lonely at the top with 22. Toddy has 17, and Garry has 13. This is Gary's question for this week, and so it's a bonus question. Finally, this All-Star stayed with the team he never won a championship with. So, 2013 NBA free agency. Shaun's pop quiz. This All-Star stayed with the team he never won a championship with, and here to try and get himself up the leaderboard.
He would be trying to go for fucking Shaun's pop quiz one person right now. That is
I planned it.
I'm 1 for 2.
I planned it for the opening segment. Welcome to the show, sir.
You can get this one.
What's the question?
So, this All-Star stayed with the team he never won a championship with. And Toddy, just so you know, the first 2 answers were Dwight Howard, which Kevin got, and then he missed Andre Iguodala, which he answered Andre Iguodala for his first answer on his own question. I gave him a second shot at his own question. And so he missed that one. Kevin got 1 point so far. And so
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard. So this is 2013 NBA free agency edition. This All-Star stayed with the team he never won a championship with.
Yeah, Damian Lillard.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Fuck, that was my guess.
That's
Damn,
So keep
Todd,
in
of course you take my guess.
That was a good ass guess though.
That was a pretty good guess. So keep in mind that this is about guys that were free agents in 2013.
I think I might have one for you.
All right, go ahead, Kevin.
Is it DeMar?
That is incorrect. But Alex thought it was funny.
She texts me saying I suck. Just so everyone can know how my sister loves me so much.
2013
We appreciate her tuning in.
Stayed with the team. Carmelo? Anthony?
That is incorrect, but that's a great guess.
Wow.
Any final answers?
Stayed with the team.
Stayed with the team. People actually wanted him to stay in the same city but play on a different team.
Russell Westbrook?
No. Because Russell Westbrook was in OKC at the time. Anyways, the answer is Chris Paul. Chris Paul is the answer.
What city
This
was
all-
he in? Because
He was in LA.
LA.
They wanted
As soon
him
as you
to be a
said that, I
Laker.
got it.
They wanted him to be a Laker.
Oh, okay. That was the Kobe trade that got denied. They didn't know the team. They were saying, like, yeah, no.
Exactly. And that's why they wanted Dwight Howard to stay, but he ultimately ended up going to Houston.
Imagine
So anyways,
David Stern now. He'd be vetoing a shit ton of trades.
without a doubt, he definitely would. Anyways, welcome to Stats Over Politics, episode number 37. Toddy, how's it going, bro? Have you been watching the Summer League?
I've been watching bits and pieces of it. I've been watching Jaime Jaquez. I don't know what he ended with, but last time I checked, it was like 14. I don't know. He probably ended with Dub. Kevin is, I don't know. People aren't wary of our group chat, but apparently a guy that we played against in high school is on the he's on the Miami Heat team, Summer League team. And then Kev goes, "Oh yeah, this guy." I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember the dude. He gave us like 30 in high school." And
Kev's like, get on the live. You lie in the chat.
He was like,
bring it
"Bro,
on
it
here."
30, bro. It was like 25. I just remember he was like the reason why we lost the game, and we were all crying in the locker room. But apparently he's on the Summer League team. Did he score at all? Was he getting buckets?
I wasn't watching.
Yeah, but
I just knew he played last year.
Apparently he was on the Summer League team. So but he wasn't nice for no reason. He ended up getting at least on the Summer League team. So.
Oh, that must make me feel better. He was pretty good, Kev, so it's okay.
There's justification in why we lost. Ended up losing that game. So.
Yeah, and also, as I said in our group chat, I was kind of laughing at you guys thinking back to the guy who knocked you out of the high school playoffs and ended your basketball careers. But I'm also the guy that tried out for the JV team at Rosemont my sophomore year, and I was the last guy to get cut off the JV basketball team. And so I can't even laugh. Yeah, it was a cold world. It was a cold world.
You tried out, Shaun?
I tried out. The thing that made me so mad at the end, because I was the last person to get cut, but because I went to all of the conditioning beforehand, like the summer conditioning into the fall conditioning, and I spent so much time. I've been going to the gym now, but like before going to the gym recently, that was probably the best shape I've ever been in my life, was doing all the conditioning for basketball. Like, it was no joke. I know, no tank top today, even though it was 108 degrees in Sacramento yesterday. What are you averaging out there, temperature-wise, Kevin, in the Pacific Northwest?
It's starting to get hot today. It was about 82 maybe.
Oh, so hot.
Hey, man, it hit 60 and girls start wearing sundresses. They start losing their mind. So 82 is pretty hot out
ain't got
here.
no AC out there, huh?
I got a unit.
Kev got it. He made sure there was some AC.
Man. At least one of my rooms got to be.
And fun fact about like Pacific Northwest, like Seattle, Oregon, they have no AC out there. They don't believe in it. It's a myth to them. I went out there. I went to Seattle summer 2016. It got to like 90. Started getting hot in the house. I asked my uncle, like, "Hey, where's the AC at? Like, I'm gonna turn the AC off." He said, "What's that?" Went to Walmart and bought every single fan I could. So
Yeah, I just got back from Lake Tahoe, and it was getting into the 80s, and it was getting super hot because they don't have any AC up there either. Like, they rely on fans, and it doesn't get that hot up there. And so I appreciate whoever ended up coming up with AC as technology. Because
Shaun was living his best life. If y'all would have saw his Instagram, he was on a boat.
Man,
he's out
in
there
the Stang,
living the water. He's in the Mustang, drive around and
top down.
Top down.
That was tank top Shaun for sure.
Sunglasses off, man.
Oh yeah.
I wish next time when Shaun go out, we're gonna get a graphic. We're gonna put it on the show so everybody can see how Shaun was living his life. Because he be living lavish, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, Shaun was living lavish.
I'm broke as a joke, but shout out to my cousins. I appreciate them. And I just want to get to a YouTube comment real quick because our guy Dre is watching Toddy, and he said, "Toddy, what's up?"
Hey, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm late. You guys want to know the story? There we go.
Yeah, we would like to know because you missed out on your pop quiz points.
So me and Soph, we're watching our show. It's called Invasion. It's on Apple TV. I probably gave him a free shout out there, but we're all watching the show, and then there's supposed to be a season 2 apparently, but I guess there's no season 2, and I just dozed off. I'm not even gonna lie to you, dozed off. 45 minutes too late. She wakes me up right and goes, "Hey, ain't you supposed to record today?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, what time is it? Oh, it's 7:02.
2 minutes too late, so.
I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. If she would have woke me up, though, it'd probably be 7:30. Just now.
Thank you, Soph. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Soph.
So.
It's funny. I was thinking to myself, like, damn, if I had Soph's number, I would call her. I almost called her on Instagram, but I was like, you know what? He's fine.
Yeah.
We heard from earlier.
I'm not dead.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
It's the
that's why I wasn't too worried.
See, if Kev was out here, he'd probably be about 45 minutes late because that heat ain't hit him yet. So he's nice and cool where he's at right now. So you good where you at, Kev. I'm telling you. I lived in the water all weekend.
Well, guys, we got a lot to talk about this week because NBA free agency has been going crazy. Maybe not as crazy as a lot of us hoped with guys changing teams. However, for the Sacramento Kings, I feel like we're feeling pretty good because of the moves that they made. And so now let's take some time and let's get into the Kings and their NBA free agency moves. As I had a little indigestion there. The Kings, they re-signed Harrison Barnes to a 3-year deal worth $54 million. They acquired Chris Duarte from the Indiana Pacers. They re-signed Trey Lyles. They finally are getting Sasha to come over and play for the Sacramento Kings. Sasha Vesnikov, EuroLeague MVP. Sasha, yeah, that guy. It's that guy. And also, the Kings, they got some DeMontis Sabonis, got a big contract extension, 5 years, $217 million. And the Kings also re-signed Alex Len. Okay. I think that's pretty. And then they also signed Colby Jones, their second-round pick, as well as Jalen Slauson to a 2-year deal, or excuse me, a 2-way deal. And so, Kevin, you are the only Sacramento Kings fan on this podcast with me since our man Garry is out there working tonight. And so I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on the Kings free agency moves.
So Toddy wants to give insight into the group chat, so I'm going to give a little bit of insight into the group chat. So when something happens,
let's just call every time we talk about it.
Someone says, boom, it's news. It's important. We all need to drop whatever we're doing, and we need to look at our phone. And Toddy sends Chris Duarte to the Sacramento Kings. Baby, boom. And it's early in the morning. No one's up. It's just me and Toddy going back and forth. And I'm like, you just need to get your privileges taken away, Toddy. Like, he's a 27-year-old second-year player. Like, let's call it what it is. And he goes, Kevin, he's a Tyus Jones type. So I stopped what I was doing, and I looked up the stats. So Chris Duarte averaged 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. Tyus Jones averaged 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 6 assists. So I sent the stats, and Toddy goes, well, 2 years ago, Chris Duarte was a bucket. And then the chat was over. But I just had to get that out there because Toddy I had to let everybody know his boom privilege were taken. But moving on, last Monday we talked about the Kings getting rid of Richard Shaun Holmes with that pick and really getting some money. So we all talked about what if, and if it was up to Todd, we would have got Kyle Kuzma for $32 million. Yeah, because Toddy said y'all only had 25. So if it was up to Toddy, we would have got Kuz. But to see the Kings, really stay solid and stay committed to this group really just shows a lot to where our organization and Monty just really thinks we stand in the West. Everyone else is making power moves, and we're really just doubling down. We don't believe last year was a fluke, and maybe that guy that to take us to that next level just wasn't in this free agency class or wasn't for the number that we expected. So, and we talked about in the group chat, a lot of guys just really went back to their same team. So even if we were to kind of wait out on Harrison Barnes and Sabonis and kind of wait out and see what we can get, a lot of the guys we mentioned on Monday re-signed with the same guys, with the same teams, excuse me. So it really was kind of up for the air. But for us to get Harrison Barnes on the deal we did, when he first signed it, I was like, damn, like this is what we clear the cap for. And then as time goes on, looking at all the deals for the small forwards, we have Kyle Kuzma signed for 4 years, 102. Jeremy Grant, 5 for 160.
That's 32.
Cam Johnson for 4 for 108.
That's 20.
Chris Middleton for 3 for 102.
That's like 42.
Bruce Brown for 2 for 45. And we got HB for 3 for 54. So when you look at it around other starting small forwards in the NBA, it's not a bad deal. Harrison Barnes is kind of like a Marcus Smart was to Boston. He's a guy in that locker room who's been there with along the side of De'Aaron Fox, who was there when the Kings weren't good. And, Harrison Barnes was coming off a championship with the Golden State Warriors and really helping build this young core and building this atmosphere. And for us to just double down on him and to continue saying that we believe in him and we believe he's going to be this guy really just shows a lot. And then going with Sabonis, I'm just happy we got it done this offseason, because I believe another season of all NBA was just going to make him more expensive. So I'm happy we were able to get it done now. And I heard he took a pay cut. I don't really know the numbers, but I'm really happy that he's here. And it's funny we mentioned finally bringing over Sasha. I'm not even going to try to say his last name. So one of my homies called me. He goes, why can't y'all just ever get anybody normal? Why you got to get some guy? Y'all think y'all getting the next Luka? And I'm like, it's not even like that. Just because he's overseas the MVP and that's the only thing ESPN says. Don't let it go crazy, But I'm finally happy to see him come over. We've been talking about him coming over for the past 2 years now, and to finally see him in a Kings jersey and see him in that rotation, I'm really excited. And not to go too long, but I really like Trey Lyles coming back as well.
All right, Toddy, you're the outsider. So, what do you think about the Kings free agency moves?
Well, it's not, it was solid. It wasn't like, they didn't really swing out the park like a lot of people thought that they were hoping that they would. But, you got to trust in Monty McNair and his moves that he makes, because he makes very solid moves. He's very intricate. He's very dedicated. And he's very delicated. So he knows exactly what needs to be done. And he's figuring out a way on how to get this team to the best of their abilities. And ultimately, he's basically saying we're going to run it back with the exact same team as we did last year. Maybe a couple of tweaks here and there, with the addition of Aquis Duarte, a guy who was in the Rookie of the Year conversation when he was a rookie back in 2020, 2021, his rookie year, whatever, it was 2 years ago. So, and then also with the addition of Sasha, the EuroLeague MVP, as Kevin alluded to. I'm not sure if he has any insight on his stats. Maybe Shaun could pull those up for us. What he averaged in the Euro League, but
it has to be nice. MVP, I'm expecting.
I mean, I'm not. I keep asking Shaun and I keep asking Kevin, who is he supposed to be, and never really got a straight answer on who. Oh, he's gonna be a guy comes off the bench, shoots. I'm like, okay, but who is that? I need to know, like, what is he supposed to be? What is he supposed to look like? Like, I'm trying to figure out who is he.
Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Trey Lyles. Toddy.
Is he basically okay? Is he basically supposed to be another Trey Lyles? Because I'm trying to figure out who that is and what that would look like. Re-signing Trey Lyles. A lot of people were kind of comparing him to Grant Williams. And me as a Kings fan, I'd rather have Trey Lyles. I think he shoots the ball better. I guess according to the numbers, Grant Williams shot better from three than Trey Lyles. But if you watch the tape and see who's a better shooter in real life, it's Trey Lyles. Grant Williams might be able to guard better than a Trey Lyles, but I think ultimately I would rather have a Trey Lyles on my team than a Grant Williams, and that's coming from a Celtics fan. Obviously locking up Sabonis, that was just something that we would see kind of down the line, and it was ultimately something that was inevitable. Sabonis was going to obviously end up getting extended, and I think that's just something that you got to do to keep the core together. You kind of knew trading for him that you have to pay for him down the line, and when they traded for him, what was it? Is that a year ago or 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago? That ended up coming out.
In the Bagley trade, and he's been way better than Marvin Bagley ever was for the Kings.
So you knew that you were going to have to pay for him at the end of the day. So a lot of Kings fans think that if De'Aaron Fox would have never broke his finger, that the Kings would probably been in the Western Conference Finals. So you could argue that if you're running back with the same team, everyone's healthy, that they're good enough to, win a couple playoff series. So you got to give Monty McNair credit. He kind of just, made a couple of tweaks here and there, nothing too crazy besides the Chris Duarte signing. And hey, maybe if one of these rookies pop, hey, I think Colby might be the guy who might get a couple of extra minutes. That I'm not sure what he's doing right now.
Start fucking up
because Kevin Huerter was a no-show, as we all know, in this playoff series against the Warriors. So if Colby kind of comes in and kind of does what he does, he might see a lot of playing time early. And a lot of people thought that he could have went in the first round. So watch out for him in that rotation. So I probably, if I would have to give the Kings a grade, I'd probably give them like a B. It was very solid. It wasn't too crazy. It wasn't too dull. They did very solid.
Before we move on, Shaun, I looked at these stats and Toddy, we were very wrong. 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist.
10 points, 4 rebounds
for Sasha Veznikov.
Yeah.
Or Vezenkov, excuse me, Vezenkov.
Yeah.
So I'm a little lost for words because it's like, okay, those stats don't stick out to you, but like was said earlier, you have to be a significant player if you're going to win the EuroLeague MVP. Because I'm sure that there were guys that averaged more points than him, but he probably made. I'm not going to lie to the people and say that I watch a lot of EuroLeague basketball. I just don't. But if he is the MVP of the second or third best league in the world, then that's significant to me. And if he comes over here and he is just a contributor, because Toddy kept asking us, who is he going to be? What is he going to be? And I just said, he's either going to be your starting 4 or he's going to be a forward coming off of the bench. And that's what he will be in the NBA, at least starting out. And I'm okay with that, and I'm happy with that, because you look at the contract that they signed him to. I don't have it right in front of me, but I think it was for $8 to $10 million, so it wasn't really that much. And so it's not a risk. And they got the Sasha rights on a draft day deal. And so Monty's just taking a shot, and they convinced him to come over when he didn't even want to come over. And they kept going over there, and they found a way to get him to come to Sacramento. And talking about the Harrison Barnes deal, I was happy with it when it happened, because unlike a lot of Kings fans who keep thinking back to Game 4 when Harrison had a chance to basically win the series for the Kings and put them up 3-1, and he missed the game-winning 3. I was in the building for that, and I still remember it vividly, but I'm not going to hold that against him, because I think that his impact on the positive side greatly outweighed any of the negatives that you want to associate with Harrison Barnes. And as Kevin said, the Kings ultimately got market value for him, and compared to the rest of the contracts that came out, it looked pretty good. And they freed up cap space by trading Rashawn Holmes. What did the Kings do after trading Rashawn Holmes? They gave Domantas Sabonis his rightful contract extension, because rather than having $12 million of Rashawn Holmes sitting at the end of your bench playing maybe 1 out of every 5 games for 10 minutes, now you can rightfully pay the guy that has been playing through a thumb injury throughout the entire season, getting his chest stomped into, and still playing and winning you that game. And your all-star to pair with your all-star point guard as well. Great move by Monty McNair to free up that money, and we were all wondering what he was going to do. Glad that he ultimately gave it to Sabonis. You get Sasha to come over. Chris Duarte is a potential backup point guard, and he can really compete with Davion. Trey Lyles coming back, I was really happy about that as well. And even to Alex Len, because all throughout last season, the Kings were unsure of who their backup center was. Started as Chimezie Metu, and eventually became Rashawn Holmes. Back to Chimezie Metu. Jaevon looked like he didn't really enjoy that drink. And, and then it became Alex Len late in the season. And so if Mike Brown finally figured out who he wanted to be the backup center, then I'm happy with it. To me, the Kings were the 3rd seed in the Western Conference last season. Now you can just build on this, build on the experience. And a lot of people aren't excited because they're bringing back the same guys for the most part. But that team won like 46, 47 games. It was 3rd in the West. Won the Pacific Division, a division that had every single team in it make the playoffs. So I'm happy that the Kings are bringing these guys back because for so many years we preached stability and that we just wanted to see the Kings finally
bring at Summer League.
was that again or was that a replay from earlier? Because I saw one earlier that I thought might have been last year.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Keegan
right, now I gotta
crazy
find
early. I love to see it. But anyways,
I was crazy.
Just to finish my point, I'm just happy that Monty is now following through on that and having the team be consistent. And this is a winning team, and so let's see it again for the 2nd year in a row. So I'm happy about it. Do you guys have any final thoughts about the Kings before we get to the rest of our NBA free agency coverage? Okay.
Luka averaged 16 points in the EuroLeague when he was the MVP. So that was like 2017, 2018. So that's kind of – Sasha averaged like 10 points. So maybe, they don't really average that much over there. But Luka did say that it's easier to score in the NBA than it is in the EuroLeague. So maybe that might have something to do with it. Maybe it's easier to score.
Without a doubt. And also
15, we'll be solid.
And Keelan made a great point just to follow up on your point there, Toddy, as Keelan says, even though his points per game isn't very high, his 63, 40, 86 shooting splits are close to elite.
Okay.
And as you said, Luka Doncic, who we have already seen what Luka Doncic is in the NBA. He averaged 16 in the EuroLeague. Okay, 10 points when, Sasha may not be the scorer that Luka is. That's 6-point difference. As Keelan says, those shooting splits are close to elite. And by the way, just before we move on from the Kings completely, I just wanted to touch up on Dre's comment. As he said, the Kings' new jerseys are kind of tough. What do you think, Kevin?
Oh man, definitely. I gotta grab one. I gotta grab one because I know they have a 3rd one coming out that they haven't shown yet. So I'm interested to see that. Todd, you're asleep, right? It's all the people been talking about. The jerseys are super dope. I'm excited. We're just washing out with the old and with the new, man. We're a team that's a playoff team now. It's established. Like Shaun mentioned earlier, the 3rd team in the West. So it's only right we get some new threads, man. I'm excited for the Sacramento Kings and everything that keeps coming our way.
Is it what McConnell's wearing courtside? Is that what Malik Monk's wearing courtside? Or?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
And also, Kevin,
here they go. Okay, I see him. Okay, yeah, it's different. My favorite is when it's like the old like C-Web type jerseys, like those ones. Those are probably my favorite like Sacramento Kings jerseys.
My favorite ones, bro. I don't know. The gold ones were dope.
The gold ones were the garbagest jerseys. What are you talking?
Shaun, tell me you don't have that same opinion.
I own a Mike Bibby gold jersey in a child's size from when I was like 8 years old that I think I have in my closet at my mom's house.
It's gotta be enough. You're on an island on this one. Garry might tell you the same thing if you were here too. But I just think the Kings, as far as everything goes, this year they basically got something to prove. Was last year a fluke? Did they just kind of catch lightning in a bottle? Monty McNair is basically saying it wasn't fake, it wasn't a fluke. So like Shaun said, if you look at this division, everybody in that division made the playoffs. Was anybody on this show picking the Kings to go first in the Pacific Division and be the 3rd best team in the West? I don't think so. So maybe this is not a fluke, and they're gonna figure it out, and maybe they do the same thing that they did last year.
It'll be interesting to see, and as Keelan said, I'm just glad that Sabonis got the bag. And what's up with our guy James, as he says, what's up with Father Toddy and the guys? So let's get into NBA free agency in general, and we are for the people. And so Dre asks, can we talk about Westbrook's contract? And so, Kevin, I wanted to ask you, what do you think about Russell Westbrook going back to the Los Angeles Clippers?
So, it's funny. The past 5 years, it's been the narrative about Russell Westbrook is this contract's just crazy. No one wants to take on this contract. It's a lot of money. And, he every year that contract was on a new team. So that's interesting to think. But he is no longer on that max deal. So now it's kind of you're going to get paid off of what you're bringing us. And 2 years, $8 million for Russell Westbrook. I mean, you can still say he's what, top 15? Top 20?
15 point guards?
Yeah. Okay, he's for sure top 20. For sure top 20.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. I had to. Is he better than Fred VanVleet, who just got paid?
No, he's not better than VanVleet. I'm taking Fred. Damn. Okay, so whatever kind of point guard he is, Russell Westbrook.
Back up.
When the two stars went down in the playoffs, the only reason everyone watched that game wasn't for Kevin Durant and Booker. It was to see what was Russ going to do. We got to see, Russ go out there and do his thing. When he is the number one guy, he can still produce, and he can show that. So if he can just kind of have that same production with the hope and the dream and the manifestation of the Clippers guard forwards being healthy and Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. So, you just have to think that if they can put this all together, that this can be a really good team. So I'm not mad at the contract. Like Toddy said, for Russell Westbrook, that's not bad. So I'm excited to see what they can do. But it's going to be interesting to see. We've been hearing them in the James Harden news. So he's going to go back to the bench. Damn.
The roles are reversed now. I think that James Harden's coming to the Clippers. Maybe that was a sign as far as the Westbrook sign, the 2 year for $8 million. I think it's Kevin already mentioned it. The last couple of years of Westbrook's contract was like $40 million. So I don't know if anybody is paying that in this century, just given on how old that contract is. Kind of going back to the John Wall contract. That was another insane contract. Those two contracts were kind of signed around the same time, and that was like 5 years ago. And, they were entering the fourth and fifth years of those contracts, and people didn't want to pay that contract anymore because, guys aren't the same guy that they were back then when they signed the contract. So, ultimately, I think the Westbrook signing is kind of what it is. I mean, he did have a 30-point game in the playoffs last year when Paul George was down. So he's a guy that can, give you good minutes for sure. He can definitely close games out. Going back to what Kevin was saying as far as him being a top 20 guard, 15 guard, I think he's probably in that range, maybe like 21.
Oh, okay. Look, the slander is getting crazy. 20 is nuts. 15 is crazy. 20 is nuts. You can't name me 20. You cannot name 20 point guards better than Russell Westbrook.
In all seriousness, I don't think that there's 15 guards better than.
You can't name. Toddy, I have to interrupt you, Shaun. If you're thinking it, I need you to put a name. I need you to put names to this. If you're going to tell me there are 20 point guards in the NBA better than Russell Westbrook,
he's like 15, 16.
He got to be top 20. He got to be top 20.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this, Kevin?
All right, hold on. So you're going to tell me 20 point guards in the NBA today that are better than Russell Westbrook?
He's got to pull up. He's got to pull up.
Yeah. I can at least tell you 20 point guards that are more efficient than Russell Westbrook. That's for sure. All right. So Kevin, going into this season, just like my Kevin Durant take that got absolutely shit on, I am talking about going into next season. So, Kevin, you requested of Jaevon and I to come ready with the list of 10 point guards because we have a question that we're going to get to later. And so we wanted to rank our top 10 point guards. So I already got a list of 10 point guards that are better than Russell Westbrook. Now I just got to find another 10. So here are my first 10. Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Ja Morant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's see. We also got Jalen Brunson, Drew Holiday, Darius Garland, LaMelo Ball. Okay. I stand corrected, Kevin. I stand corrected, Kevin. He may not be top 15, but Russell Westbrook's in the top 20 because then you start to get near the names like Chris Paul, Fred VanVleet. I mean, yeah, and just looking at like pure point guards too. So yeah, I will give Russell Westbrook top 20, but at this point, he's definitely not top 15 for me. Like easily not top 15.
Like I say, 16, 17, like in that range. You start looking at, there's a bunch of young guys in there. Zach LaVine is probably another guy that's in there. I'd say that Shaun didn't mention, but a lot of people don't really consider him a point guard, but he's more like a 2. He's like a combo.
They need him now without Lonzo.
He's pretty much a combo guard there. But no, I'd say that list is pretty accurate for the most part. I think that there was like maybe 1 or 2 names that you said on that list. I was like, well, we can kind of get into it a little bit, but yeah,
like a Jalen Brunson or a Drew Holiday. I mean,
Drew Holiday, because I feel like Russ can score the ball better than Drew.
And can Russell Westbrook play defense anywhere close to Drew Holiday?
That's where everybody will be like, oh, he plays defense and does this and that. And so
Drew Holiday's offensive game may be inconsistent at times, but he can get you buckets at times, but he's always there defensively. He is always there defensively. And I just want to get to a couple of our comments here at youtube.com/@StatsOverPolitics.
In the comments.
I mean, I appreciate the comments because the comments are pretty lively tonight, and we appreciate everyone for not only listening but also for participating. As Dre, who asked the original question, he says, I feel like a little bit of disrespectful in comparison to Draymond's contract. Keelan says, that was 100% thank you money for Draymond. Is he really worth that much at this point in his career? And then Dre says, I agree 100%. He might take 3 shots a game. No way you play him honest because they know he won't shoot the ball. The only time he actually started to look to score was during the playoffs last season. So that is a good point about Russell Westbrook. But Russell Westbrook is also at the point where he is the 3rd option at best on that Clippers team. I mean, if James Harden comes to town, then he's going to be the 4th option, maybe even 5th option, depending on if anyone else steps up. And so getting to some other NBA free agency news, guys. Kevin asked me earlier if we had a set agenda for today, and I honestly was just like, no, we're just going to talk NBA free agency because there was so many moves. And so I haven't gotten every single move made on this list, but I got a list of 15 moves that have been made. And then we can just pick from there or something that I missed. So this is basically a rundown of what's happened in NBA free agency so far in the last week. James Harden, he opted into his player option with the 76ers, but he's seeking a trade partner and trying to force his way out and get another requested trade from another team. As was mentioned earlier in the Russell Westbrook discussion, Draymond Green, he went back to Golden State. Jeremy Grant, he got the bag from Portland. Kyle Kuzma,
that means he's staying, huh? He got to be staying. Huh,
Hell nah.
That's what Portland thought.
Apparently. Kyle Kuzma, he returned to Washington. Bruce Brown, he went to Indianapolis and got paid. Colby White and Karis LeVert, they each returned to their respective teams. Kyrie Irving is back in Dallas. Chris Middleton went back to the Bucks. Cam Johnson went back to Brooklyn. We notice a theme that's going on here. Gabe Vincent, he left Miami. He went to the Lakers for 3 years, $33 million. I'm happy for Gabe. I got to interview him once and write a story. That was a good opportunity before he got his career going. Derrick Rose, he signed with the Grizzlies for 2 years. Seth Curry's back in Dallas. Damian Lillard requested a trade, and his preferred destination is Miami. Brook Lopez is back with the Bucks, and Tyrese Halliburton, LaMelo Ball, and Anthony Edwards all got paid. So, Toddy, what's your favorite move from NBA free agency so far?
There's been a bunch. I don't know if Shaun mentioned my boy RTBMB signed his 1 year, $7.2 million.
RTMTB? Is that what you said?
Who?
That's Miles Bridges.
Who?
This is a rap.
Oh.
That's this rap. Y'all don't listen.
No.
No, I don't.
Not.
No, I definitely don't listen to Mikal Bridges.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, Miles Bridges.
There we go.
I might listen to Mikal Bridges rap, but not Miles Bridges. Go ahead.
But in all seriousness, there were some extensions. I don't know if Shaun pointed it out. I think he did. Halliburton got extended.
At the end.
Halliburton got extended. LaMelo got extended. I thought was a little bit more surprising to me. Anthony Edwards, he got extended. That was well-deserved. I thought that was pretty much a no-brainer. I feel like he's the face of the franchise, so it only made sense. Dame requesting a trade is obviously probably the biggest thing that's kind of going on. Him in the background welcome to Miami. It's just a coincidence, guys. It's just don't worry about the music in the background. Don't worry about what we're doing over here. Damian Lillard would never do something like that. It's just a coincidence. My mom always told me to never believe in coincidences. So that's that. But
shout out to T, by the way.
yeah, I just think the LaMelo Ball contract is. I wouldn't say it's crazy, but I feel like it's just like okay, like we just look about his like what he's done in the league. He's been hurt. They got into the play-in and got their ass kicked twice, and he's been hurt again. So that's pretty much. I love LaMelo. I really love LaMelo Ball. I feel like it's just like it's a guy you drafted. He has the potential to be so young. I think he's still like 20. He's like 21 or something like that. So he still has the potential to be really, really, really good. But we haven't really seen like Anthony Edwards, who's also really, really young. We've seen him get to the playoffs. He's all NBA. He's not all NBA. He's been all-star. We've just seen him being able to elevate in the playoffs and get to the play-in. So their team is a little bit more competitive than I'd say the Hornets are. But I think LaMelo's contract was it was a little surprising to me. I wouldn't say shocking because I feel like LaMelo down the line can be a max guy, but it was just like okay, like y'all didn't want to wait, but Shaun said in another group chat inside, he was like, why would you wait to lock up the future? Come on, man. This is the guy. But
this is Toddy's white people voice. It's all raspy.
I don't know if, LaMelo would have been like, hey, like maybe let's think about this. And maybe before we think about signing anything, look elsewhere, other than being in Charlotte, because I don't think anyone thinks Charlotte is going anywhere. And as far as, making a playoff push and doing this, that, and the third. But they've been to the play-in twice, so why can't they make the playoffs, right, with LaMelo Ball? So that was probably the more surprising thing. Tyrese Halliburton signing.
Hold on, Toddy. Before you move on, let's stick on this LaMelo Ball topic because this slander is fucking disrespectful. So I'm going to read you Anthony Edwards stats. 25 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. LaMelo Ball, 24 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. So what are we talking here? They both been an all-star. Let's not pretend like the Hornets are a better team than the Timberwolves or the Timberwolves kill the Hornets. You're going to take the Timberwolves every time. They have not been able to build around LaMelo. So you're talking about, let's see what else is out there. They cannot afford to let him leave. They, as Shaun educated me earlier, early bird rights get the most money. You have Michael Jordan up there. They're going through the transition up there. They just brought in Brandon Miller, who I think can be the next Paul George. But we're not going to let that tangent go. It's another story from the time.
Toddy and I definitely
Stevie Wonder
disagree.
can't even see. Stevie Wonder can't even see. I don't know what to say about these two. But LaMelo Ball is worth every penny. Not only is he box office, he's already been an all-star on his rookie deal. So we wouldn't say the same thing about Tyrese Halliburton. We're not saying the same thing about Anthony Edwards because of their location. The teams are building around them. It's the Charlotte Hornets. If Bridges played this season, is it a different question?
Probably.
It's different. Now they're bringing Brandon Miller in, so they're trying to build. Yeah,
hey,
it's
Shaun,
later.
He averaged 20 in his last full season. You can look them stats up. Stats over.
He averaged later.
He averaged dub his last full year.
How many wins? How many wins?
Wins?
Like 30? Yeah, how many wins for the team? Like 30?
That's the year they won the play-in. That was the play-in year.
That was when, hold on. That was when they went into the play-in, and then what happened when they went to the play-in? 2 years in a row.
Destroyed.
Oh, 2 years in a row. Oh, okay. 20 points though. Cool.
I just didn't like how he was putting slander on my boy Miles Bridges.
I mean, just like we were talking about with Jordan Poole. I don't care about how many points you average if your team is garbage.
But it's not his fault. The team is garbage.
Yeah.
We're comparing him to team with other all-stars. Literally,
like
Anthony Edwards has 2 other all-stars.
I don't think LaMelo's going to finish the year in Charlotte. I think that's safe to say.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, okay. I don't believe that. I don't believe
Hey, bro, Brandon Miller, I'm telling you, Toddy, you don't see it. Don't make me go on this tangent. Don't make me go on this tangent.
No one can see
Kevin,
it.
please go on this tangent.
When do they play? Don't they play? Doesn't he play?
They played today. They already played.
Yeah, they already
The
played.
Hornets played?
Yeah.
They played in Sacramento. You missed it.
Oh, God. Here we go. Let's go see these amateur numbers he done put up.
What did he do?
Oh, Toddy, I'm already on the way. All right, here it is. So The Hornets, here's the record. So the Hornets lost to the Spurs without Victor Wembanyama. The Spurs beat the Hornets 98-77. Brandon Miller had a good stat line, 18 points on 5 of 11 from the field, 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
I gotta go on my tangent.
He led Charlotte in scoring. James Bouknight had 12 points. Go ahead, Kevin.
Come and hype me up, man. Come and hype me up. First time on the NBA floor, doing what he got to do. Imagine this with Bridges and LaMelo Ball. This team is going to take a huge jump. I'm not saying, maybe winning a playing game, but they're going to continue to be in the contention because they were already in contention with just LaMelo Ball. Hold on. With just LaMelo Ball. With just LaMelo Ball, they were already in contention. With just LaMelo Ball, we're bringing Bridges back and we're bringing Brandon Miller. I think he's going to come in and shock a lot of people, including you two. So we're going to have to come back to this episode 37. We're going to have to come back to this. And, Shaun's been missing the notepad for a little while, so I ain't going to say nothing. But we're going to have to see. He got it out. So we're going to have to spin the block. We're going to have to spin the block on this tape because I think Brandon Miller is going to be one of those ones. We're going to look back on it and be like, yeah, man. Now everyone understands why they took him over Scoop.
Okay. So, Kevin, I just need a little bit more of a concrete statement because I understand what you mean when you say that Brandon Miller is going to be one of those ones. I understand what you're trying to say, but for when we reference this back and so
All-Star, are we talking?
So it's
per game score.
So it is point blank. Period. We know the answer. Yes or no? Did this take get frozen or not?
Okay. Hold on.
What are you ready to say? Brandon Miller averages this. Brandon Miller's Rookie of the Year. I mean, I need to hear a statement that can go on the notepad. So let me we're running out of room. Go ahead, Kevin.
So let me cook. So it's a bias award. I think Chet Holmgren's going to come in second, but if it isn't going to be Chet Holmgren, I think Brandon Miller could be second. I think Brandon Miller is going to average anywhere from 18 to 20 points.
18 in his first year.
And he's gonna. Let's say 5 rebounds. 18 to 20 points, 5 rebounds. Put it to pen to paper.
Okay, 18 to 20, 18 or 20. Give me a solid number.
Kevin, he's winning Rookie of the Year if he averages 18 to 20 points.
No, he's not because Victor's going to average 25.
Victor's averaging 25. I'm sorry.
He's going to shoot every shot.
Yeah,
he could. There's a very high average. Everyone else has to share the ball. Victor's going to shoot the ball whenever he wants.
Kevin, right now, so far.
All right, let's go 18. Let's go 18.
All right, I'm going to write. Brandon Miller will average 18 plus points per game, 5 rebounds per game. All right, there you go, Kevin. Episode number 37.
You could put one of them ones in quotation marks. Put one of them ones.
I'll put a little one. Yeah.
Please put that on the notepad. Whatever one of them ones means. Keegan has
Toddy, that'll be good to reference back to.
Oh yeah.
When he's one of them ones.
He's one of them ones. I can't wait.
You need to write down Stevie Wonder even saw it.
Yeah, you could write you could write that down too. But I mean, I guess are the Hornets making the play-in or are the Hornets making playoffs?
No.
Could make the play-in.
They can make the play-in. I just don't.
Kevin, earlier you said you don't even know if they would win a play-in game.
I never said they'd win. I said they can make it.
I don't think that they're better than Detroit, to be honest. That's how good.
See, the biggest thing with Detroit is Cade. If Cade's who we think he is,
we know 100%. Who he is. And Kevin knows who we think he is. We know who he is. He just hasn't been healthy. That's the only thing.
Right? We know because we've seen it coming up. And the NBA, he's only given us 1 year.
Hurt his whole year, his whole playing career. He's never been hurt like this. So I mean, it's not like he's injury prone.
And I'm not saying he is, but we just haven't seen it yet. So
they're not saying Charlotte's not better than Orlando. Orlando's better than them. So I mean, there's young teams that are better than this team. That's how good I think. I mean, I'm not saying LaMelo's not one of them ones, as Kevin would like to say. I believe that he is. But I think that his team is not what they're supposed to be. So that's going to further hinder him going.
I don't know. Saying the Hornets are going to be better than the Pistons isn't crazy. because you're not taking Kate over LaMelo.
And
you're not taking anybody else on that Detroit roster over Bridges.
All I know is neither of those teams are going to make the playoffs, and so they're irrelevant to me.
We're talking about 9th, 8th, 10th place right now. That's what we're talking about.
More like 12 or 13.
More 12 or
13. 12, 13. So
this is getting insane.
So,
all right, guys. So we've had plenty of other moves in NBA free agency. What else do you like, Kevin?
Oh my gosh, Fred VanVleet, 3 years, $130 million. I think this is just what the Houston Rockets needed. You know, they have a lot of young guys. We heard John Wall come on the podcast and saying the culture over there is really turning shit. You know, they have a lot of young guys.
Before they hired E-Man, by the way.
Before the house, that was a part of the point. So, you know, they're putting the building blocks down, you know, bringing in Fred VanVleet. You have a lot of these lottery picks who've always been, you know, talked about, always been on the cover of ESPN. You're bringing in Fred VanVleet, who was undrafted, you know, NBA champion, NBA All-Star. So Fred VanVleet's going to come in and change the culture with, like Toddy mentioned, with Coach Ime Udoka. I think those two fillers right there are going to be great. And what a lot of people aren't talking about, and I'm surprised Shaun didn't mention it, Uncle Jeff is heading to Houston. They're putting down the culture. So yeah. I'm really expecting a turnaround in Houston, not only with Fred VanVleet, but this core they're having with Jalen Green, Asar Thompson, Jabari Smith, Dylan Brooks, say what you might say, second team all defense, Alfred Sengun, Uncle Jeff, Jack Landale, who went in there when DeAndre was hurt and did his thing, and then they have Kevin Porter Jr. So this Rockets team led behind Ime Udoka really going to be in there. I'm not going to say playing because the West is so heavy, but this is definitely a young team to look at. And, you know, if we can see all-star Fred VanVleet come, and if Asar Thompson's who we think he is, and we can see Jalen Green really take that Ant Edwards kind of jump, it's really going to be interesting to see what the Rockets come, and Ime Udoka is the perfect guy to lead the ship.
Kevin, I think that was excellent points that you just made. I will have one correction. It's actually a man.
As soon as I said that, I was like, damn.
Asar is the one who's going to be competing for 12th in the Eastern Conference on the Detroit Pistons. But yeah, no, honestly though, Kevin, I feel like that's an amazing point that you just made, not only about Jeff Green, but when I saw the Fred VanVleet rumors and then I saw the Fred VanVleet signing, I just thought, man, he got the bag. Congratulations.
Who's the best player on this
paid.
team?
What do you mean?
Fred VanVleet.
It's not even a question.
Wait, hold on.
It's Fred VanVleet.
It's Fred VanVleet. Okay. It's not even a question.
Hold on, hold on, Toddy, before you get your laugh track going, I just wanted to say one other name that was not mentioned that has been signed to Houston, none other than Stone Cold Dylan Brooks. 4 years, $80 million.
Kev said Dylan Brooks because I said that they was talking about you need to learn Taiwanese. So.
I missed that. My bad.
Yeah, Stone Cold himself.
Drake.
Of all pictures, that's when he picked.
That's what I think of when I think of Dylan Brooks. Yeah, I think of him doing this, and I think of his random outfits.
Fucking hilarious.
But by the way, Drake said that that was my favorite part of this is probably that when Fred VanVleet decided to sign with Houston, that Drake was like, man, my twin, my lookalike. And he sent out this super nice message, like it was a couple paragraphs. And then at the very end, he's like, have fun on the Guangdong Dragons, like saying he's off to China. And all Fred commented was, relax.
Relax. Big dog.
Oh, my God. That shit was so funny. But watching this California Classic in front of me, it kind of gives me like nostalgia or deja vu to back when Jordan Poole was competing for the Warriors. You had Duncan Robinson competing for the Heat in the first California. Keegan Murray's out
about
there.
Memories. I remember when Marvin Bagley was on the team, and we had a crazy summer league team.
I went to that game.
That first game, I think we might play the Lakers, bro. And
I was there too, Toddy.
Yeah,
that one dunk.
Yeah.
The dunk, we were going nuts.
Memories. And then that wasn't the year we won it all. Yeah, that was with David.
Shaun was at the airport when he touched down and took a bit. Shaun was
Marvin?
Yes, he was.
I'm telling you, bro.
Unfortunately,
Ty, I don't know if he caught it, but he was like, "Yeah, you know, in the playoff game, I was there." Slight flex, just have to throw that in there. Todd, Shaun is everywhere that he needs to be.
Hold on, no, Shaun went to multiple playoff games, and he don't let Shaun be on here. Shaun's like that. He be out here in these streets. He be out here in these streets.
Shaun gutted the rest of his bank account to be at those playoff games, but I was there. It happened. And yeah, Kevin, unfortunately, I was among the hundreds of Kings fans that greeted Marvin Bagley at the airport in 2018 when he got drafted. I'm scrolling back in my phone. I'm scrolling back in my phone to try and find the photo, and I'm
crazy. You have Jalen Brunson's picture on pull up.
Yeah,
it's right.
No, it's
because
it's because we were talking about Jalen Brunson, so I pulled it up while you guys were talking. But now I'm on the spot and I'm trying to find it. But anyways, Marvin Bagley's not important enough for that. But yes, Toddy, I was
Did Jimmer
there.
dominate in summer league?
I don't remember.
Was there a buzz around him? I remember there was a buzz around him going into the draft. I don't remember him killing in summer league like that.
Dude, I remember.
Oh God,
summer.
Here it is. All right,
he's got it.
Here it is. So here I think so. Yeah, so we talk about old takes exposed. Here's a Snapchat from my phone.
Oh yeah,
future All-Star. That didn't work out.
Oh.
And here is the aforementioned picture that Toddy spoke of, and I
been great
regret to have this on my phone.
Yeah,
this picture is an all-time freezing cold take.
You
right
see
here.
the hope in Shaun's eyes. Do you know what? Hold on for people that didn't see that picture. Yeah. Shaun has the biggest smile on his face. Do you know why, Toddy? Because we took Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic.
Hold on,
we said we believe we got the second best player in this draft. This is life-changing. This is supposed to come in this franchise and blow up the spot.
And you know what's crazy?
All right.
I started asking Shaun. We used to work in and out together. And he was telling me, man, there's this dude, EuroLeague. His name is Luka Doncic. I know nobody really know who he is right now. He's he's supposed to be like the next Dirk. And I was like, Dirk? I was like, Shaun, are you smart? What are you high? What are you talking about? He's like, yeah, man, I'm telling you, Vlade, he's real tight with him. His dad. It makes sense for us, bro. And I was just like, okay, oh, this whole Luka dude, I ain't never really. I was like, I don't really know. So I looked into him a little bit when Shaun was like, you gotta check him out. I was like, all right. So I looked at it his EuroLeague stats. He looks slow. I got back, my report back to him was like, all right, he can shoot a little bit, but he's kind of slow. So I don't know if he's gonna be. He might be. I guess I could see Dirk in him, but he's not gonna be able to guard these guys. He's not gonna be. I don't know if he's gonna be able to get a bucket in the league. All these guys that are fast, and we all know kind of where that took us now. But Shaun was pretty much the first person to tell me about Luka Doncic because I had no idea who he was going into the draft.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, and it pains me
I said
to hear you
the
retell that
Kings should
story.
have got Trey, but Shaun was like, we got De'Aaron already. So just I guess not.
Could you imagine Fox and Luka?
That'd be crazy.
So then we really would have got a free agent coming in a sack.
Exactly. So talking about that 2018 NBA draft and how the Kings did choose Marvin Bagley over Luka Doncic, we talked about this aforementioned photo that I took with Marvin Bagley.
I thought you were going to show us another picture.
No, well, so here's the thing: is I was actually on KCRA3 News at the airport after they signed him. You guys want that photo was a cold take, and I don't even remember what I said, but here's what I said to KCRA3 News back in 2018 when the Kings. I gotta hit unmute. There we go. All right. Can you hear it? It's probably not that.
Bogey. Shaun was like 5 years too late. It was 5 years too early.
I talked about Harry Giles. I talked about Frank Mason. Bogdanovich.
Yeah, we don't even know Monty McNair is. He's not even in existence yet. So, dang, that's crazy. It's a blast from the past for sure. I mean,
shout out to our guy Vlade.
You gotta think about just where that team was back then. I don't know if De'Aaron had just gotten drafted, so it's his third year. So he's kind of still trying to figure out. I think he still had the hair. It was when he had the Super Saiyan hair. So Frank Mason was still on that team. Bogdanovich.
Do you remember this picture? Super team, just young, and it's De'Aaron Fox, Marvin Bagley, and Harry Giles at Cream, the ice cream place in Sacramento.
Bro, no, Harry Giles was Sacramento loved Harry Giles. I think I might be on the list here, but
Still do.
Sac loved Harry Giles, and him coming out of high school was me and Kev could test this. We watched a lot of
He's a
Harry Giles
dookie.
highlights.
Number one.
Coming out, he was number one player, but I think just injuries just kind of derailed him. Ultimately, he'd had like 2 ACL surgeries, I think, before he even got to Duke. So it was just like, all right, so you're kind of behind the 8 ball there, but ends up ultimately going to the Kings, and he was pretty good. He had a pretty good stint with the Kings. I thought it was pretty solid, but it wasn't what we would have hoped that it would have been. Marvin Bagley, Harry Giles, and De'Aaron Fox is crazy. So, super team. That's
Super team, just young. So,
Yeah.
Toddy, we were talking a lot about NBA free agency moves before we got off onto our 2018 NBA draft tangent. And were there other moves
Redraft.
that? Yeah, right. I know, right? But were there any other moves from the 2023 NBA free agency that you really liked that we haven't spoken about yet? I mean, your boy Kyrie is back in Dallas.
Yeah, Kyrie's back in Dallas. I mean, I thought that was kind of. I didn't really understand all the takes of him being, he's meeting with the Rockets, he's meeting with the Suns, he's meeting with.
That was just to raise his
Orlando.
value and to say that the
Yeah.
Mavericks weren't competing against themselves.
themselves.
They were
Yeah,
exactly.
It didn't make sense. So that was, I thought that was pretty much what was going to happen. I think everybody thought that he would kind of, make his way to LA because at the trade deadline, he was like, I want to go to LA. And then you got LeBron tweeting, maybe it's me, all this other stuff. So, I mean, ultimately, if this were back in February, we were thinking Kyrie's going to resign in LA, and this is just a 1-year rental, and we're going to figure it out, and that's going to be where he's going to go in the offseason. So I don't know why you're trading for Kyrie. It doesn't make sense because he's going to LA anyway. But it's tough to kind of play 25 games with another superstar and just, hey, you guys could make the playoffs, right? Let's figure it out. So I think, them going into a full offseason together was going down blue. So I think that once they get into, kind of the swing of things, I feel like they'll be able to figure out and be able to coexist together and make a playoff push because ultimately they're just too damn talented to not be able to get to the playoffs. You got Luka and you got Kyrie. I mean, what are we talking about here? But I think another thing that we haven't really talked about is Dame requested a trade. Is that not crazy news? I feel like
We've been talking about that for weeks.
It's
We have been speculating.
It's official now. It's official. So I think Dame, as far as his trade, well, he wants to go to Miami. I'm just looking at the team and how young they're kind of already set up to be like, all right, this is going to be our team. And once they trade for Dame, it's going to be like a whole bunch of just bonus stuff on top of it. Because they already got Scoot, they already got Anthony, they got Shaden Sharp, obviously. And I feel like those are the core guys that you can build around. And with this Dame trade, you could add kind of more pieces here. But I feel like if you trade him to Miami, it's not the best package. It's like, all right, you're going to give me Kyle Lowry and Tyler Hero. That's it. This is a guy who's probably the greatest Portland Trailblazer ever, arguably. And I'm getting Tyler Hero and Kyle Lowry back. No, I'm not saying that.
Is he better than Clyde Drexler, really?
I mean, the numbers say so, yes.
Okay. I just had to ask. I had to be the devil's advocate without Garry here.
Stats over politics. I think we've kind of talked about this before.
We have a little bit.
Yeah, I said Dame is the best Blazer ever. And I'm just like, okay, so I'm going to get Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin maybe for Damian Lillard. Now, I get that most teams that trade their superstar, they're not going to win the trade because ultimately the team that gets the star wins the trade. But I'm like, okay, there are teams like Utah that can get the most. Brooklyn, you could get like there are better like teams out there. But I feel like Dame is so kind of set on you're going to take me to Miami. He's playing Welcome to Miami in the background of his IG live, so he's kind of like Miami is where we're going. And I also saw reports that like if other teams kind of like try to trade for him, it's like, wait, I'm not. You trade me to like freaking, let's just say Detroit or Orlando. I'm not gonna play. So it's just like you could trade for me if you want to, but it's gonna be for no reason. So I feel like Miami is where he kind of wants to go, and I guess you would get him, as Kevin likes to say, the homie discount is what you're gonna have to get for him. But I don't know if Portland's willing to do that, even if he is arguably the greatest trailblazer of all time.
Before we move on, while we're talking about the Blazers, we have to get on this Jeremy Grant case because as soon as Toddy hit in the group chat, I said, "All right, Dame Stan, they're all in. There's no way you're giving him 5 years. What was it? 5 years, $160 million. So let me tell you something. He averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists.
Why not?
So let me tell you, he makes more money than Brandon Ingram, Jamal Murray, Devin Booker,
I saw this too.
Jalen Brunson,
old contract,
Karl Anthony Towns, and Tyler Hero. You're probably not taking any of those guys over Jeremy Grant. You're taking probably every one of those guys besides maybe Tyler Hero.
All those
so
guys
for what he's
to
making
CBA.
Annually, and we mentioned this team is really in the step of there's a trading Dame. They really want to go into the rebuild. This is the first block of the rebuild. This is what we're going to look back on is Jeremy Grant.
And Dame he was waiting on it. Yeah, I'm waiting for them to build a championship team. They signed Jeremy Grant. Cam goes, he's
I'm out of this shit. Yeah. So before we moved up free agency, I had to mention that Jeremy Grant's making more than those players, and I don't think he's going to be able to bring. Well, yeah, now.
Yeah.
So.
Well,
a year.
Yeah, that's something that I was telling Kevin before we started recording is that we were seeing Jaime Jaquez really go crazy in Sacramento in the California Classic. And all I was thinking is future Trailblazer Jaime Jaquez is going to be moving to the Pacific Northwest very, very soon. Because, Jaevon, you mentioned all those names, Caleb Martin, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, who could potentially be in a package for the Miami Heat, for Damian Lillard. Jaime Jaquez,
he looked good.
22 in 22 minutes. And yeah.
Better than Brandon Miller.
Damn right. And Jaquez was like number 18 or something like that. Brandon Miller.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. We can't move on to free agency. Hold on.
He is at 21 right now, by the way.
We didn't mention any of the Lakers moves.
Yeah.
The Lakers went shopping, fellas. They went shopping. And Gary's not here, so whatever Toddy wants to call us LeBronologists.
There's like a shirt that y'all gotta get. It's like a Fire LeBron.
Hey man, the Lakers did their thing in this free agency. They didn't have a lot to spend, but what they brought in was significant. So the 4 players who made the most threes in the last playoffs: Jamal Murray 1, Steph Curry 2, Jason Tatum 3, Gabe Vincent 4. And for them to bring in, and excuse me for butchering his name, Tua wannabe from the Nets. He was a top 5 shooter in the league, averaging 44 point.
Utah Watanabe.
He's fine. He's good.
So he shot better than Gabe, but Gabe was right there, tied with him at 44.3 for the year. So Gabe really shot the ball very, very well. They're bringing back the same starting 5 in Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, but their bench is a complete upgrade. So you bring in Gabe Vincent off the bench. You bring in Cam Reddish off the bench. If you're a believer, if you're a day one listener to this podcast, we're big Cam Reddish fans over here. I think Cam Reddish, Blazers wasn't really the perfect fit. They were in the middle of tanking, but in a winning situation, I think we're going to see the best of Cam Reddish. Tayshaun Prince, they have a Prince and a King on the team. That's all I saw on Twitter all weekend. Jared Vanderbilt coming back, and then Jackson Hayes, which I think was a really underwhelming contract. He's a guy he could stretch the floor a little bit, and he's got to protect the rim, and that's all I really need.
That's my birthday twin.
Anthony Davis doesn't like to play the 5 all the time, so to have Jackson Hayes be able to go in there and interchange with him, I think the Lakers made a lot of good moves.
There's a graphic on Twitter or something. I forget which draft it was, but they now have like the 8, 9, and 10th pick from that draft. I think it was like Cam, Jackson Hayes, and one more person that's on that team now. That was in that draft. So Shaun could probably pull that up for us. But I think as far as the Lakers moves go, I loved it. The Gabe Vincent signing was very shocking to me, just because I thought he was going to re-sign in Miami. But then you were kind of seeing just like when free agency started that, the Miami's not really taking him serious. This, that, and the third. He's going to Gabe Vincent's pretty much gone. And I was like, what? There's no way. I was like, where would he go? And then we saw that the Lakers got him. I'm like, oh, boy. Here we go. And I don't know if this is insane to say, but I think Gabe could for sure start on this team. I think Gabe could be a guy that's going to start. Everybody's
Over who? Is he going to play the one?
Yeah.
Hell no.
How's that?
He was
crazy?
doing that in Miami, and he led them to the NBA Finals, Kevin.
Over
It's not
Kyle
crazy.
Lowry. Okay, congratulations. D'Lo's not Kyle Lowry.
Well, Kyle Lowry made the All-Star team. D'Angelo
D'Lo's
Russell
like
has made the All-Star team once.
Again, hey, when it mattered most against Denver.
Bro, he put together a good
season.
season. He had a couple bad weeks of basketball. Now we're going to say Gabe Vincent's going to start for D'Angelo Russell.
That's not insane.
I just
That's
don't.
insane to
Yeah,
say.
it's not. No, it's
That's
not.
100%
No, it is not.
insane.
All
You
right,
cannot
clip
compare
this,
the Heat
clip this.
situation.
TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
TikTok, clip it. Do what you got to do. Gabe Vincent, I think, is going to start.
There's no way you're taking Gabe Vincent over D'Angelo Russell.
I think
To
he's
start.
a better fit.
But to start, so Austin Reeves is going to run the one and Gabe's going to run the two. I just think Gabe at
Gabe runs
point
the
guard
one.
is. I don't think he's. I don't think he
Gabe
runs the
runs the
one
one.
anywhere else besides Miami.
Okay, now Kevin just hating on Gabe Vincent. Okay, well,
Yeah, Gabe Vincent is that guy.
Starting lineup for the Lakers is probably going to be Gabe at the 1, Reeves at the 2. You can have LeBron at the 3. You could go either way with this. You could do Hayes at the 4, AD at the 5, or you could do Jared Vanderbilt at the 4, AD at the 5, or vice versa.
I would do Jared Vanderbilt. See, Kevin, I'm not telling you that I'm picking Gabe Vincent over D'Angelo Russell. I'm not telling you that I'm picking him to be a starter over him. I'm just agreeing with Toddy that it's not a crazy thought to say that Gabe Vincent could start as the starting point guard after he's done that in Miami for not just this season, but also last year.
You just said he was one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA in the playoffs last year.
And what does LeBron do very well, Kevin? Mr. LeBronologist, he kicks out to three-point shooters. That's what he does.
That can stretch the floor. Come on, Kev. What are we talking about here? Now, I know
you want him to play with LeBron.
You was giving all the D-Lo stats last year. When D-Lo averages 17 points, they win games in the playoffs. But I guess he didn't do that in 4 games against the Nuggets last year. So, yeah, Gabe Vincent went on a tear last year in the playoffs, and I don't see
it's
why.
Officially 3-1 now, as our guy Dre says. If Gabe goes off in practice, he'll definitely start. So, Kevin, I guess you're the one on an island on this one.
Yeah, you might be on that one. This is Kev figure out a way to give us some TikTok content every week. So he's going to beat Kevin to 1K this week.
You know what, Kevin? Make it 4-1 because I think even Blue, to your right, I think even Blue agrees with us that Gabe Vincent has a chance to start. And as Dre said, Rui's so cold.
And yeah, they re-signed Rui too, so he's probably Rui could probably be in that starting lineup for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then our Uncle Manny also tapping in, saying a great show. We appreciate you, Uncle Manny, for tuning in. As Garry gets a DMP tonight due to work.
The DMP Garry.
That's what we were saying during the pop quiz. As I said, that Garry would classify this as a DNP for himself during the pop quiz. So just to get one more review of the NBA free agency moves around the league, as James Harden, he opted in with 76ers, but he's seeking a trade. Most likely, it seems like he's going to head to LA and play for the Clippers. Draymond's back in Golden State. Jeremy Grant went back to Portland. Draymond, correct.
Draymond Green, baby. People thought he was going to sign for $30 million with the Kings.
With the Kings, I know. Kyle Kuzma, he returned to Washington. Bruce Brown got 2 years, $44 million in Indianapolis.
Player option, I think, in the second year.
Oh, team option would be much better. Yeah. Kobe White and Karis LeVert, they returned to their respective teams. As was mentioned, Kyrie's back in Dallas. Chris Middleton back to the Bucks. Cam Johnson went back to Brooklyn. I like that for Brooklyn. And Derrick Rose, he's going to be a mentor for John Morant in Memphis. Seth Curry, he's back in Dallas. The dangler, John Morant.
Maybe not all that, but I was you, man.
And also Brook Lopez going back to the Bucks. I just wanted to ask you real quickly, Toddy. I mean, we briefly mentioned Tyrese, LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, all the young guys who got paid. I just wanted to ask you one more question in regard to Damian Lillard, because we talked about that a little bit. But to me, it looks like there's 2 scenarios to the Damian Lillard trade situation. It's either Portland does right by Dame, I put into air quotes, by trading him to Miami, his desired destination.
Welcome to
or
Miami.
They end up trading him to whichever team can give the best deal, because both you and Kevin, Jaevon, have been sending stuff in our group chat where it's like these other teams are also trying to get Dame and are pursuing Dame. And so there's other teams out there besides Miami. So what do you think, Jaevon? Are you picking Miami or are you picking the field for Damian Lillard's next destination?
I feel like Dame is going to be like, if you don't trade me to Miami, then I'm not going to play anywhere else. So unless it's like a team that's like that can win. Like if it's a team
Boston?
that, hey man, come on.
hey, man.
Don't tell me what a good time, man. Don't tell me what a good time. That's all I'm saying,
Well,
man.
okay. So Jaevon, you're the
You put it
Celtics
on my
fan.
face. You put it in my face, man. We might have to talk about it.
Well, Jaevon, you're the Celtics fan. So as a Celtics fan, what would you give up on the current Celtics roster to get a Damian Lillard on that team?
You can
Because-
have Derek White. You can have. You can have.
You got to answer legitly.
Brogdon.
Everybody but Jaylen Brown.
Get all our picks.
Yeah, he's like you can have
He's
Porzingis.
worth the first.
Hey, I give you 4 first. I give you the second team all defense. I give you the 6th man of the year. Come on, man. We match the
Well,
salaries here.
Toddy, we talked about this a couple weeks ago with Jaylen Brown and Damian Lillard. Would you trade Damian Lillard for Jaylen Brown? Or would you trade Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard straight up as a Celtics fan?
I don't know, man. That'd be tough.
Yes or no?
Because Kevin said a trade that I was like, he said like Anthony and Dame, and I was like, it was like Anthony and Dame for like JB and stuff.
Anthony and Dame for JB. If it's Anthony and Dame, you guys don't even y'all don't even blink twice.
I feel like we gotta take that. I mean, Dame he averaged 30 last year,
And off the bench.
And Anthony's probably
So
starting.
hold on. So you
Hey, fuck the bullshit. Anthony might.
Fuck the bullshit.
Anthony might start.
no, but realistically though, think about it from the Portland Trailblazers perspective. They have to trade Damian Lillard because he wants out. They
Let's
don't
look at
have to
that.
trade Anthony.
Let's look at that. Let's look at that team though. Like if JB's on that team, what would it look like? It'd probably be because they already have a shit ton of guards already. So it's like
they got
okay.
Scoot.
Can't take in a guard or not.
Yeah,
Send one
yeah.
out. You got to.
So I think it would probably be Scoot, JB. No, Scoot, Shade, and JB probably up to 3.
Jeremy and Nurk.
Jeremy and Nurk. That's a team. That's a little team right there. I don't know if they make the playoffs, but they gonna be competing. It depends on what Jaylen would be if he kind of he becomes Batman for real and kind of becomes the guy. But I don't know. Straight up, Dame for. I would want Anthony in that deal though. Like somehow, someway, like he'd have to be like, "Hey, come with me."
Could Sharp do it? Would Sharp do it for you?
Shaden Sharp and Dame. Damn. Wow.
So real quickly, while Toddy
I like the young
evaluates
guys.
that,
I love the young guys. Love them.
So
well, I just wanted to ask, like, you guys think that if the Celtics were to make a deal and they were to give up Jaylen Brown, you guys both are saying that you think they would need Damian Lillard and another young piece? Like Dame's not enough?
Nah, Dame's 32. Dame's 33.
All right.
30,
All
yeah,
right.
he's on the way out. We only got, he got 4 years left on his deal. He probably has 2 more years of being Dame. But I mean, he's not really athletic, so he can really do it for all 4. So it really kind of just depends on what Dame you get. But to also say that you're giving up, I don't know how old Jaylen Brown is. He's already been an all-star. That's one of the best 2-way guards in the game. You're going to give that up. I'm going to need another foundational piece. Dame's just a cherry on top.
Okay, that's good to know. So in that scenario, I'd probably rule out Boston. Toddy, have you thought of your answer? You're going with Miami versus the field for Damian Lillard's next destination. I agree with you. I'm also going with Miami. It just seems like it's inevitable at this point. Miami was the team that I just kept eyeing for a potential Dame destination before he even requested a trade.
He's playing
So
welcome to Miami in his IG live. He's going to Miami.
Kevin, are you going to make it unanimous?
He got a house.
Oh, yeah, he's going to
a house.
Miami.
He got a house in Miami. It was already set up. Here, Mr. Lillard. Here we go, Mr. Lillard. We got the house all ready for you. It's right next to the facility. It's about 10-15 minutes from the facility. You can come do whatever you is. We just got to do the 5% body fat test, and we're all good to go. So, yeah,
Dame not doing that shit. I understand there's a standard, But Stanley ain't been winning. That's why you brought me in. I'm here to fix it. Yeah, so you're going to take this 7%, and we're going to be all right.
He averaged 30.
Bro, who was it? I think it was Jermaine O'Neal. I heard in a podcast, he was like, when I played for Miami, I'd come in on a night, and the Orioles would just look at me, and I'd just be like, damn. I can't even eat an Oreo at night. And he was like, yeah, no, when I had, because he could have been on the big three, but he signed it to go elsewhere because he was like, yeah, bro, fuck that.
Yeah.
He's like, I wanted my Oreos.
The Heatles. He could have been on the Heatles.
He gave him on 2 rings for some Oreos.
I don't know. Didn't he get a ring with the Warriors though? Pretty sure he did.
Jermaine O'Neal?
No.
It would have had to be 2015 if it happened.
Nah, he definitely
I think he played with them, but he didn't win a ring. Yeah, he definitely played.
He definitely played. He didn't win a ring.
Yeah.
Okay. Could be wrong. Shout out to J.O.
All right. Sounds
to
good.
J.O.
All right, guys.
Like, who the fuck is J.O.?
Here we go.
Music.
It's that time. It's that time. It's that time again, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Jordan Ford's got 10 points, by the way.
Yeah, Jordan Ford is cooking right now.
Shout out to our dog.
So we are moving into another segment of Fact Over Cap. So this is our guy. So homegrown. We always got to count him as one of ours, so we have to bring it up. Is Tyrese Halliburton a top 10 NBA point guard?
Yes.
Fact or cap? Toddy, I'm going to go to you first.
Fact. What are we talking? He's arguably top 5. Arguably. So, yeah. He's just already been an all-star. He's, 4th year in the league? This will be his 4th year. So, yeah. I mean, ultimately, we kind of saw what he was going to be when De'Aaron was out. We saw these 40-point games. Like, what the hell is this? What is going on here? Like, who is this guy? He's 12th in the draft, and now he's kind of, being able to spread his wings. And ultimately, we saw what the Pacers think about him. They ultimately went out and grabbed guys like Obi Toppin, Bruce Brown. They're trying to build around him, and they ultimately extended it. I don't know if you guys saw his post on Twitter where this is a good wrestling, very, very good wrestling mention here. I think it was Ted DiBiase. He's just laughing for 50 minutes. They used to call him the $1 Million Man. And so, ultimately, Shaun can pretty much attest to who the guy is. I think it's Ted DiBiase. Am I tripping?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, the $1 Million Man. You hit it spot on with the evil laugh.
So, yeah, he's whoever says not top 10 point guard doesn't know basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
Fact.
And
all right, Shaun. So, are you gonna go 2-0 on this segment of Tyrese Halliburton being a top 10 point guard in the NBA?
That's a fact. I mean, Kevin, we were talking earlier about Russell Westbrook, so I already listed off my top 10 point guards, and I have Tyrese ranging between the 5 to 10 range, but he's definitely a top 10 point guard in the NBA. Just because I prepared the list. I mean, Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, De'Aaron Fox, Jamal Murray, Tyrese Halliburton, Trae Young, Ja Morant, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. It's a fact.
It was right. Sorry, Shaun, I don't mean to cut you off, but it was like right before the All-Star break that he was in that range to kind of. They were like pushing for the playoffs, but I think he got hurt and missed like 2 weeks with an ankle injury, and that kind of pushed them back a little bit as far as making the playoffs. But I think for our audio only listeners, Shaun has a picture of Tyrese Halliburton shooting a basketball in a Kings uniform. So what could have been? What could have been?
What could have been? What do you think,
All right, guys? I was on the fence when I was thinking about this list. It just depends on. So here's my top 10 honorable mention. So you have no order. So you have Luka, Steph, Kyrie, Dame, Shai, Ja.
Shai's not a one. Shai is not.
Darius Garland, Trae Young, and De'Aaron Fox. Honorable mentions: Jalen Brunson, Chris Paul, Drew Holiday. The only person you could convince me to put Tyrese over is probably Darius Garland. But I don't know, because Darius Garland is a fucking bucket.
He's better than Chris Paul right now.
He's better than Chris Paul, yeah. But
Shai
Shai
Gilgeous-Alexander is not a 1 to me. He's a 2. So that's why I'm saying he's not a point guard. Tyrese Halliburton is a point guard. Shai's a 1. Shai got voted in as a 1 off of technicality, but he's not a 1. He's a 2.
Man,
Josh Giddey's
letting you know what the awards say.
Yeah, well, Tyrese is top 10 point guard. He's better than Drew Holiday.
Oh, he's better than Drew Holiday. He's better than Chris Paul. Jalen Brunson, I'm gonna say he's definitely better than Jalen Brunson. But there's a lot of New York fans out there who might think differently. But I'm taking Tyrese over
Brunson went nuts in the playoffs. I think it's just people would like to see Tyrese in a playoff setting and kind of see what he does. Pretty much all the guys that you kind of named in front of him have been in the playoffs, and we've kind of seen what they would look like in that setting, because everyone knows in the playoffs, everybody's game pretty much takes off. So Kings fans know, just because of what they pretty much saw the year before that he got traded, and all those games they kind of just rattled off 30-point game after 30-point game, 40-point games, hitting game winners, just doing insane shit. And ultimately that boosted his trade value, and now Domantas Sabonis and Sacramento Kings got extended. So he has to be a top 10 point guard, right?
Man.
So is that
everyone
a fact,
out there?
Sean? You say fact, or is that a fact?
Sean said fact.
No, Kevin, is that a fact or?
Oh. I'm gonna go fact. I'm gonna go. He's top 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Garry,
so moving on.
Garry,
So I was talking to this with one of my guys. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bring it to the podcast. Is this the year Lamar Jackson will pass Josh Allen as the AFC's third best quarterback? Toddy, I'm gonna go to you first. Is this fact or cap?
I'm gonna say fact. Lamar obviously went off in a, it was a whole deal. Like, his contract was like one of the biggest thing in sports. Him saying that he wanted to get traded. Ultimately, they ended up working it out. Josh Allen has been kind of redundant, I'd say, in the past few years. He's obviously going to be the cover boy in Madden this year, this, that, and the third. I feel like his peak, I wouldn't say his peak, but where I thought he could have been the best quarterback in the league was the Patrick Mahomes game, the 13 seconds game. We'll just call it that. The 13-second game, they ended up ultimately winning in overtime. But that game was kind of where they went back and forth. They changed the rules because of that game. The overtime rules, they changed it in the playoffs. So last year was pretty much a disappointment, being the favorites and losing at home to the Cincinnati Bengals, or that was 2 years ago. Or was it last year? It was definitely last year. It was definitely last year. But, I am a gambling man, so I did bet on the Bengals in that game. What a pretty good chunk of change. But I think this year, Lamar Jackson has the best receiving core that he's had in his career. He's got Odell. He's got Zay Flowers is the guy that they drafted. He has Mark Andrews, and he already has, I'm blanking out on the third guy's name. But
Mark Andrews?
No, not Mark Andrews. The other receiver. What's the other receiver's name?
I can't tell you.
I think, yeah.
Blue was trying to tell us.
Yeah. Going blank on his name, but I think Lamar has the best receiving core that he's had all year, or his whole career. So I'm gonna say fact.
All right, Shaun, we'll go to you next. Is this the year Lamar Jackson passes Josh Allen as the third best quarterback in the AFC?
So I just wanted to ask a clarifying question first. This is assuming that Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are the top two. Is that correct?
Solidify.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go with cap. I think that Josh Allen will solidify himself as, not a doubt, the third best quarterback in the AFC. Maybe even better than Joey Burrow if he can cut down on the interceptions. And if it's all if. Another big if that I think could help Josh Allen is if Dalvin joins his brother James in the backfield, and you have the Cook duo in the backfield for the Bills, along with Stephon Diggs out there, and obviously Gabe Davis as well. I'm going to say cap. I think that Josh Allen is in the top 3 of the AFC quarterbacks.
I'm going to have to agree with Toddy. I think this is fact. Toddy mentioned where the addition of Odell Beckham and Zay Flowers. I think this offense is really going to take a leap. They brought in a new offensive coordinator, so they're going to want to have Lamar throw the ball. You're paying him all this money, so you're expecting him to take a lot of less hits. So I'm thinking we're going to see another MVP season out of Lamar Jackson. He's come out and said he wanted to throw for 6,000 yards, and with this receiving core, I definitely think he has the opportunity to do it. Rashad Bateman. So I definitely think that they're going to be able to build something over there. And I think just the inconsistencies with Josh Allen, like Toddy mentioned, we've thought the Bills, they've been the favorites all year, and but they have the injuries with Von Miller, and they're kind of just the up and down seasons. They always have this hype, but when you have to play against the Chiefs, it's really hard to come through. And I think the Lamar Jackson's already beat them once, so no matter what, if you want to say it was on technicality because it was a fumble by Allaire. But I think Lamar is really going to be able to take this jump and slip past Josh Allen.
Hey, Cap, they picked up your boy, Nelson Aguilar, too.
I saw that.
Yeah. Kevin.
So,
I just got to say real quickly since Toddy mentioned that name. That is probably one of my favorite videos on the internet where the guy is just absolutely just shitting on Aguilar. And I'm sorry for those of you who haven't seen it before. Just look up Nelson Aguilar guy, and you'll find the video.
We're saving babies.
All right, for the last one, we're talking about for the last Factor Cap question of the night. We've been talking about the AFC quarterback, so we have to talk about this next one. The Jets are more likely to miss the playoffs than they are to make the Super Bowl. Shaun, I'm gonna go to you first. Is that Factor Cap?
This is probably the toughest one for me today. I'm going to go with fact, but I think it's because, in my opinion, I'm going to go with fact because I don't think that the Jets will actually make the Super Bowl. I think that the Jets will make the playoffs and then be a first or second round exit, whether it be in the wild card round or the divisional round. And so for that reason, I will say it's a fact that they are more likely to miss the playoffs because they do play in the same division as the Dolphins and as the aforementioned Bills, but also the Patriots. Bill Belichick's still there, and so I'm not going to rule them out either. That's just their division. We've talked about all the great quarterbacks that are in the AFC. They have 3 wild card spots now, but I do think that it's more likely that the Jets make the playoffs than they make it to the Super Bowl, so that's a fact.
All right, Ty, we'll go to you next. The Jets are more likely to miss the playoffs completely than they are to make the Super Bowl. Factor Cap.
I'm going to have to agree with Shaun. Just based off of the AFC in general, there's like a solid 7-8 quarterbacks that are just like, hey, these guys are really good. Versus where in the NFC, it was kind of a cakewalk for the Packers because, Aaron Rodgers owns the Bears, this, that, and the third. They would usually win the division, which would ultimately kind of just coast their way to the playoffs. But now it's just like, all right, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. Like, we're starting to get into the Deshaun Watson is in that conversation. Like, there's just a bunch of guys over here that are like, all right, like, these are legitimate QBs. The road is a lot harder. So, if anything, they would probably miss the playoffs because I don't see the Jets going to the Super Bowl. Joe Namath was the quarterback the last time that the Jets went to the Super Bowl. I think they were they in contention when Favre was there? I don't think so. I think
they were in contention when Mark Sanchez was there.
That's right. The Sanchez, the USC quarterback. Come on now.
Mr. Butt Fumble.
Come on, man. Why you gotta do that to my boy?
Without Garry here, I guess that makes me devil's advocate. So I'm going to have to say Cap. The last time we saw Aaron Rodgers made a Super Bowl run, like Shaun mentioned, their division is really stacked. The last time we saw Aaron Rodgers on a Super Bowl run was on a wild card run. So he had a top 5 defense. We saw what the New York Jets were able to do. If they were just able to score a couple more points, they win a lot of those 1-point games. They saw Zach Wilson come in there and really struggle. We saw the birth of Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. They have a lot of young guys on this offense. Tariq Cohen, I think, is the tight end. I could be mistaken on his name, but I think Aaron Rodgers is going to come in and really take this team to the next level. They're already just a quarterback away. So I believe that them going to the Super Bowl is really realistic. In the AFC, I feel like the Chiefs haven't had anything of the Jets. They have the number, they have the Bills number, they have the Bengals number. They haven't played the Jets. So it's always that. It's Aaron Rodgers. We can't count on Aaron Rodgers. So I think Aaron Rodgers are more likely to make it to the Super Bowl than they are to miss the playoffs. So I'm going to have to go Cap.
Okay.
All right. Well, that does
I still think the Jets are making the playoffs, though. So I'm putting money on the Jets to make the playoffs. So, that's not saying that I don't think the Jets will make the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. It was just the question. I don't think they'll make the Super Bowl. But I do think the Jets will make the playoffs. If you guys want to put some money on that, that's definitely something to put your money on. Also, I've also said in the past that Aaron Rodgers is a dark horse MVP candidate. I don't know what the stats are or what the odds are on that, I definitely do a little sprinkle on that.
You need to sprinkle that Chet Holmgren Rookie of the Year. I've been trying to let y'all know.
Chet had 14 tonight, by the way. He looked good.
And a blowout. He could have had 25.
He could have, yeah. He's kind of
All right,
buffering now,
guys.
I guess.
Any final thoughts?
Brandon Miller had 18 points in a game where they got blown out in the Summer League.
Hey, man, it's fine. He's out here to get a couple shots up, get it in rhythm. You know, he had 7 fouls. So he's out there just, getting used to the game.
Fouls in the Summer League. You get however many fouls you go on.
But, for the people that weren't here for the 2 people that, Stevie Wonder can see and they can't even see. Kevin Dent, Brandon Miller, 18 points, 5 rebounds. Put it to the pen to the paper.
That's there.
So it says it right there. Brandon Miller will average 18-plus points per game and 5 rebounds as a rookie. Kevin, episode number 37. And a couple quotes below it say, one of them won. Stevie Wonder even saw it. So there you go. So that's going to do it for episode number 37 of Stats Over Politics. Make sure to give us a like on YouTube. It helps us a lot. If you like the show, hit subscribe to get notifications when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Stats Over Politics and on Twitter at Stats or Politics. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on all podcast platforms. If you're enjoying the show, give us those 5 stars. Don't be a hater. We'd really appreciate it. And you guys have been tuned into episode number 37 of Stats Over Politics. For Jaevon Toddy, Kevin Dent, even my guy Garry Singh, who I just saw on ESPN, I am Shaun Holko. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you guys on another episode of Stats Over Politics after we hear what Kevin has to say.
So we've been talking about the group chat a lot, so I just want to come out here and speak for the 4 of us. We really appreciate all the subscribers. We hit 100 subscribers, so it was a big acknowledgement for us, a big milestone for us. So for us to finally get to this point just shows that all the hard work is paying off. But we're nothing without you guys, so I speak for the 4 of us, and we just say we appreciate you guys, and we're nothing without the Stats of our Politics family.
We appreciate you guys. Oh, Kevin, and just one more reference to the group chat. Yeah, Blue loves 100 subscribers as well. But just to reference one last thing from our group chat. Kevin, I know that we did not take our shots to celebrate 100 subscribers, but we can wait for next week until our guy Garry rejoins us, and then we can all hit those shots together. So that's going to do it for episode number 37 of Stats Over Politics. For Kevin Dent, Jaevon Toddy, Garry Singh, I'm Shaun Holko. We'll catch you all next Monday here on Stats Over Politics.